What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Zoom Rig My Alien Dad. So here's the figure out of the box here. So I mean, he looks pretty cool, but obviously this is not the main reason I got this figure, because he comes with this a little accessory pack, which we'll take a look at here in just a little bit. But the figure itself is, I mean, it's just an amazing figure. I hadn't really played with it just a whole bunch, but just seen a bunch of videos on this guy and really wanted to get him. So I mean, this is a pretty cool look for a figure within itself. I mean, honestly, I was thinking I wouldn't mind having a duplicate, you know, have one as Omni-Man and one as this figure here. So
are you sure?
I mean, he's pretty cool. So I think I seen one video, one guy said, I guess he could be your Soviet star or something. I guess. But we'll go ahead and get him changed over to his Omni-Man accessories, and we'll take a deeper look at this. All right, so get these unboxed here. So just take a little quick overlook. So here's the first Omni-Man head. Sort of like a closed eyes. See if I can get it to focus here. I guess not. Sort of like a closed eyes face there. And then this is sort of like a slightly open mouth, like he's talking smack or something. And then this one here is just like a full-fledged fighting face. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure this last one's here is just sort of like a neutral, relaxed face there. So all these head sculpts look pretty good. So something I did notice, I guess it's from season 1 of Invincible, because you sort of notice he's sort of got like a real red tint, which these eyes look more on the wider side, but just notice he sort of has more of like a red tint, like especially on this face here. So it sort of reminds me of like the season 1 where he kills off, you know, a good part of the team. That I can't think of the team's name. But anyways, so then here's the actual Omni-Man chest piece with the cape there, and it is a wired cape, so that's always a plus. And here's the neck piece. Then here's like a little extra like neck extender, hair extender piece that he comes with just to hide those gaps. So I'm gonna get this changed over and we'll see what he looks. All right, so I'm starting to change some parts here. So taking off the chest plate, it's pretty easy. Just gotta sort of wiggle it out a little bit. So let's see if we can spread this cape out a little bit and get this to fit over like this. See, it's sort of folded up on itself. Let's see if we can spread it out just a little bit here. So there we go. See if we can push that in. So there you go. Just heard it snap in there. And we'll put this neck piece here. See if we can snap it in. So there we go. And I'm pretty sure, I guess that goes on like that. And we'll just put this neutral expression on him. And there you go. So that's pretty simple there. And now you have an Omni-Man figure. And I just really like the coloring and the shading that they've used for this guy, which my lighting that I'm using sort of takes away from it. But I mean, it's just really, I just really like the way that this guy looks. I've always been a real big Omni-Man fan, and just really glad to have this guy in my collection here. But I guess going over some of the, I guess, articulation here. So he can look down in pretty good ways there. And then for looking up, he can look pretty much straight up, which is awesome, obviously, for most of your flight figures there. And then head pivot, it's really good because that neck joint is just doing its justice there. So let's see if we can, I think this side's sort of getting caught a little bit, but for that side to work around with it a little bit. So, but it's great there. And then I mean, you just got good rotation all around there. So, and then for the arms, so they've sort of got this, I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but they've sort of got like a ball joint in there, plus like the shoulder, like it just, whatever they're doing, there's a lot going on here, but there's a good bit of articulation coming from it. So I mean, you can do that with the arms. You can have the arms go up and down like that with the shoulder joint, and then there's a little bit of rotation there in the arm, so you can sort of lift it up or pull it down just a little bit. And then there is a little bit of bicep swivel, not just a whole lot. And then, you know, he can get his arms straight up, and touch his arm to each other. It looks a little goofy there. And that's pretty good. And then for going straight out, I mean, he can pretty much do a T-pose there. And so, I mean, that's pretty good there. And then so he can pretty much believe he can, yeah, so he can cross his arms here. So, I mean, that's pretty good there. And you could probably even push the limits there. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And then so for the upper chest articulation, so you can have him go over that much, and then doesn't want to seem to go over to that side, but with just allowing everything, he can look down that much there, and then going all the way back. I mean, well, pushed it a little too far there, but I'll just snap that back on there. So, I mean, he can go back a pretty good ways there. And I really like how they've added these extra pieces, because if you push this up, you know, you've got a pretty big gap, but you can just push it down a good little ways, and it just hides all those gaps. So I really like how they've done that. And so, I mean, for, I guess, the leg articulation, well, I guess we can do this first. So go from side to side, he can go pretty good. And then, like, so you can see the gap there. Just all you gotta do is just sort of push that down, which it may not want to fully cooperate, but I definitely like how they've added that extra little piece there. And so, and then also, I guess, for the arms, which I've seen multiple people, I guess, talk about it, I guess you can only get about a 90-degree angle out of it, because I guess the muscles kind of keep it from going much further. But I mean, that's pretty good in my opinion. So, and then obviously same thing for the other side. The joints are pretty tight on the arms as well. But that's pretty good there. And then you do have a little bit of wrist articulation, and then also you can turn it all the way around there. And so that's pretty much it for that, I believe. And then so for the legs, I think there's a little bit of drop down there, so you can pull that down, get some pretty good articulation out of the legs. Can he go all the way around? I do not know. So I guess he can't go all the way around there. So, but he can kick up about that much there. And he can go, I mean, he's got 360, so you can go you can go pretty far there. Only thing is it's not straight, so it is kind of angled out to the side there. And then obviously same thing for the other side, go up that high. And then for the knee joints, he's got pretty good knee articulation there. So, but sort of the same thing, the calf muscle hitting the back of the thigh, it's just sort of hindering it from going further. But I mean, it's good enough for what it is. And so for the ankle, so in my opinion, this top half here, so like from here up, sort of reminds me of like a Revoltech. And then the lower half here sort of reminds me of a Mafex, because if you look at how that knee joint looks there, and then if I take this is a Mafex Hush Superman, you can see it's like the same style of knee joint there. And so, I mean, it's pretty cool in my opinion, because I'm a big Mafex guy. And so I really think that it just all flows together, in my opinion. And then so for the feet, it can go down about that much. I mean, even the feet look like a Mafex foot, the same type of design there, in my opinion. And so his foot can go up that much. Then obviously you do have that toe articulation, and his foot can go down almost straight down, which is awesome for a flat figure there. And then so I guess that's pretty much it for the review here. So I did just want to post a quick little something about this guy. So I'm really glad that I have him in my collection. I'm also really glad that the size of the cape, I'm glad it's not like, you know, humongous, like, you know, like sort of like a big Batman cape, I guess you could say. But I'm really happy with this guy here for sure. And then I guess we can just do some size comparisons. So get this guy stood up here. So I guess for starters, since he's right here, this is the Mafex. I'll make him look up here. So this, once again, this is the Mafex Hush Superman. So looks pretty good. I mean, Omni-Man is a little bit taller there, which is fine. And then this is the Mafex Cyclops here. So I'll get him looking straight as well. Had wanted to pop off there. Let me see if I can get him to stand up here. So he's kind of hunching over a little bit, but so pretty good size there. And then, so that's pretty good. And then here is the Mafex Spider-Man. It's the comic version here. So sort of give you an idea, because I actually made, I've got another video you can check out. I made a custom Invincible out of a CT Toys Scarlet Spider, and these are about the same size. So, you know, if you've got any customs made out of like the CT Toys, like Spider-Man, like maybe an Invincible or whatever, sort of gives you a good little size comparison there. So, yeah, so that's it for the size comparisons there. I guess we can take another look at some more of like the original accessories that he comes with here. So obviously we went over the heads there, and then this piece is that Soviet Star piece. Definitely want to hang on to that. So I guess the first thing I kind of want to take a look at is the crossed arms here. So let's see, and sorry if my camera keeps moving, I've got it sort of want to move around a little bit. So let's see here. So I think this should just pop off. Definitely don't want to break it here. So I think that should pop off right there. Let's see. All right, let me get this changed over and see what it looks like. All right, so I got these changed out here. So I had a little bit of trouble getting this one on. So this one isn't fully attached, but just sort of got his closed eyes face, like he just got done talking to Mark or something. So yeah, so I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely glad that they've done it as two separate pieces there, because it makes it a lot easier to put on. Because I actually have an SH Figure Arts, I think it's like a Vegeta or something. It comes with like crossed arms, but it's just one solid piece and can be a little bit difficult to put on there. But definitely glad with how this guy looks, and glad to have him in my collection. So hope you enjoyed this review, and if you'd like to see any further reviews or have any ideas for what I can do to make my reviews better, please feel free to comment, and feel free to check out my other videos, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like on this video and also subscribe. Thank you very much.